So, hello and welcome back to Flinty Goes to Space launch number 4. This time we're off to the moon. It's a bit more ambitious than our previous rockets, so we'll get things underway and hopefully they'll all stay together. Now we've got struts, we've got fuel lines, which will make things a lot more efficient because we're using asparagus staging now, so we should be able to get to the moon without any problems, get into orbit, do some science, and get back. All being well. Now, we've only set off at 60-ish% throttle because I don't want to go too fast until I've ejected my primary boosters off the sides. And this is all a bit hit and miss because it's such small parts still. So we're coming through the cloud bank now. As you can see, the cloud bank is entirely new, thanks to... oh, there we go. A nice clean staging. That makes a very nice change. So we're well on our way now, 25 kilometres, throttle up. So the clouds are new, and there's quite a lot of other new stuff as well. There's a lot of new mods I've put in because KSP 0.25 has turned out to be a lot more stable and a bit more forgiving. The only downside is the B9 pack has now got the extra large parts, which take up a massive amount of RAM in textures. So I've had to drop the texture resolution down a bit, and while you can't really see it, it's not a problem. It has done some weird stuff with some of the buttons, like these ones up here, which have gone low res. I don't know how to fix it. I'll keep trying and hopefully we'll figure something out. So we're now cruising to our Apo apps. It's not the best Apo apps, and you can now see me flail around with some maneuver nodes. Okay, Apo apps 130, that'll do. It's close enough for military work. And turn ourselves around. Now, we don't have solar panels yet, so we're relying on these giant batteries at the front to keep us going. Because obviously if we run out of electric charge, we're in real trouble. I had originally planned to have a much more, should we say, ambitious space mission where I would attempt to land a probe off the main ship onto the moon. But after thinking about it with remote tech and needing to keep things with battery life and facing the planet, all other kinds of things, it was just a bit too much for the tech we had. So here we are, there's the burn. Give or take 1600 meters per second to go. So that should be no problem at all. We'll disengage this stage in just a second. Try and stay on course. We still don't have MechJeb's manoeuvre planner yet, so there's still a bit of guesswork going on, which I'm not terribly keen about. But, yeah. Oh, there goes that stage. Wasted fuel. Not paying attention. Gets me every time. So, not far to go now. Let's see how we're doing. Okay, periapsis is coming through the planet. Stay on target, Jeb. Everything will be fine, mate. So we're now down to our one main booster, and this will do most of the work, I'm hoping, towards the moon before we have to fall back on our final stage, which has got bucket loads of Delta V, and could possibly land, although there's no landing legs. So we're not going to try that. Right, last 250, we'll make it on the stage. So we've got some more science to do while we're up here as well. Oh, premature. So yeah, we've got to get a crew report while we're up here because we've got a contract to grab some more science. There we go, that'll do. That's an orbit. Get rid of the manoeuvre node before we forget, and get a quick crew report. Now it doesn't matter that there's no data in it. All they want is some crew report or some scientific experiment. So they'll get that and they'll be very happy. Now we're off to the moon. So plot injection burn to the moon, set moon as target, add a manoeuvre somewhere on the other side, line it up, and then the easy way is just, there we go, move it around so we get an encounter. It's the easy way of getting to the moon. 84,000 meters, that will do nicely, we'll take that. So that's due in 22 minutes. put ourselves into position, speed up time. Unfortunately, we can only go up 50 times round here, so it's going to take a couple of seconds to get round. But we've still got plenty of electric charge, which is a good thing. We've got plenty of fuel. Jeb's still enjoying himself, no doubt. So here we go. We'll back off now, so I've got time to adjust our position, and we'll take in the view of a beautiful Kerbal covered in clouds. Okay. I've got to pay attention with this. I generally miss my burn nodes because I'm not paying attention. So what have we got? We've only got... yes, that'll do. I've gone off a little bit early because we're getting much less thrust to weight ratio out of the next stage. So this meters per second will drop down a lot slower, and so we'll need longer to do it, so we'll be in a different position, and as a result we needed to go early. As you can see, this is really dropped now, which could result in some strangeness on our orbit, but we'll have to see. We got quite a lot of the way there anyway. Although we might get away with this. So we'll extend the apoapse all the way out to the moon. We'll go behind the moon, come into an orbit, which will give us the contract points for getting to the moon and getting to orbit. And then we will do some science, and then we'll head home. And be back in time for tea and medals. There we go. 26 kilometres. It's a bit close, but he who dares and all that. So speed up time now. We've just got to hope we don't run out of electric charge. Just back that off, turn off the SAS, that'll save us some charge. Our positioning isn't really important because we don't have any solar panels to worry about, so we don't need to worry about where the sun is, where Kerbal is, and where we're positioned. We can just head off and enjoy ourselves. So there we go, we've now entered the moon's sphere of influence, and we are at quite a strange angle. That's because I set off from an inclined orbit. It was only ever so slightly inclined, but obviously initial conditions and sensitivity to them means we end up in a very almost polar orbit. Actually, let's see if we can straighten that up for a reasonable fuel cost. Doesn't need to be completely straight, it could just do with being a bit straighter than it is. So there we go, and we will take off the speed and see where that ends up. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, could be a lot worse. So, let's set up for this. Oh, that's a bit quick. Turn back on the SAS. And speed time back up. Oh, he's gone past his burn point. Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? We don't have to be accurate, we just have to be in orbit. And as long as that doesn't touch the moon, we'll be okay. Come on down. That'll do. It's a terrible orbit, but passes reasonably close to the planet, Not to the planet, to the moon. So, yes, contracts complete. Many, many complete contracts. Right, there it is. Beautiful. Look at that. Jeb's very pleased. Let's get him out to have a look. What do you think, Jeb? Let's get an EVA report while you're out here. Recorded observations. Have you let go, Jeb? Jeb? No. Oh, damn it, Jeb. Get back in there. Where the This is a bit unexpected, Jeb. You're supposed to hang on to the ladder, mate. There we go. Get back in. Lovely. Right, let's have a quick crew report. Keep that, and do all the science. All of the science. What are we going to get for this? We get 10. Ooh, 50. I'll have that. 20s. And put all the science away again. Does that work? No. Right. Messed up my action groups. Happens. Oh, clickety clickety. Okay, job done. Now we have to return home. So we might be able to get away with this again. Yes! Brilliant. So what you do is you just burn along here and we end up in a ridiculous polar orbit, which is going to smash us into the ground. Perfect. We'll trim that in a minute. That'll do. Who said you need to be accurate in space? All these guys worrying about numbers and maths and all that jazz. Oh, 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 there we go. Yep, let's not go past the manoeuvre node again. Yeah, that'll do. Ooh, where's that going now? Into stellar space. So yeah, fortunately we've got buckets of Delta V for this, which means that I can do these crazy manoeuvres and actually get away with it. Ooh. Let's see if we can't pull this off. It's not quite close enough. Get in there. There we go. That's a return to Kerbin. Speed time back up. 10,000 times. Quick trip out. And I wonder where we're going to land. Possibly quite near the space centre. No, miles away from the space centre. Good stuff. Nothing worse than getting most of your money back, is there? Okay, so prepare for re-entry. Now this was unfortunately rather a perfunctory mission to the moon. We didn't get to stay around very long. Because this is mainly a science grabbing mission, I have to confess. We've got the science we need, we only went for the science. But now that we've got it, we should be able to build a much better ship with a lander. And if we get a lander down there, then we can start to do some real science, because then we can have repeated trips to the moon. With landing legs also comes the opportunity to land back on Kerbin in a sensible and dignified fashion, as opposed to what we're going to attempt now, which is landing with most of a tank of fuel and 4 parachutes. So we'll just, yeah, here's the atmosphere. Oops. Oh goody, a water landing. Always reliable. No doubt this will tear us to pieces, destroying all the science and killing Jeb. But it should be worth a giggle. So we're still coming in quite fast. Good job we don't have deadly re-entry, because we'd probably all be dead. fingering of the keys there. It's 4 times time acceleration for you. Right, we are now starting to slow down to just about under Mach 4, which is a much more sensible speed for re-entry. And we'll just come in gently over the sea and hope all of these parachutes are enough to slow this thing down. I kind of left the fuel tank and the engine on deliberately so that they could be used as kind of ablative armour, as it were, for the bottom of the ship, because all we really care about is saving the science. The rest of it can crash and burn, as long as Jeb gets out in one piece, because there's nothing worse than killing people. You lose reputation, and that means we can get less cheap interns. So, last little bit, 4.8 meters a second, that should be enough to land gently. If it's not, then we've got bigger problems. Let's slow that down. Last 30 meters. Nice and gently. Excellent. It looks like we didn't lose anything terribly important. Brilliant. Back to base.